Okay, well, what's been going on? Not a lot, and then a lot. I'm definitely sticking with keto-based. What I did is I'm going antithetically to the flow while everybody's pulling away from carnivore, all you turncoats. Volume metrics are way down. Not that I even look at that, but it's impossible when YouTube feeds it to you all the time through the algorithm, right? And I haven't even started this channel yet, really. I've been focusing on trying to get back into shape. And that was just a test run through where I got down to 155 pounds and couldn't sustain it, couldn't functionally stick with it. If you're on ketosis, if you're doing kind of a carnivore thing, I'd recommend always keeping your protein high. If somebody's eating almost no protein and then they're like Dorian Rides, I'm not putting him down, or Durian Rides. I like the guy. I mean, I would have been on YouTube since 2007 with almost 20 years of footage where I was training in the gym, coming out with epic shots, and I erased them all. I erased my ego, the false ego. Cost me a lot, cost me dearly, and there's never a day where you don't regret it. But it, you know, as an old guy now, it pushes me into hyper motivated states. I've learned a lot, learned about metaphysics, esoteric, arcane philosophy, and really quantum physics, science, nutritional science, and just how everything blends and merges into one big homogeneous chimeric mess. But these standalone nutrition aids, where I'm going to lower that and say that I've been doing experiments and I don't think going at or above, which is alluding to what I was saying about Durian Rides, right? Is he's done a lot of tests, probably enanthate, I don't think cypionate, and maybe even like a suspension that he doesn't really talk about. And it's not really, I think the only business is, yeah, I'm on steroids or I'm not on steroids. I'm not on steroids. I haven't done any for 8 years. And prior to that, I was natural my whole life. I did everything and achieved all the greatest things physically that I've ever done naturally. It didn't matter if I was using a few extra pounds. Like I've benched the same when I was under 180 pounds, you know, where people looked at me when I was 220, 230 pounds jacked up with all this false muscle on, fake muscle. That's what steroids will. Your body knows if it's sunk into these algorithms that are going to last the test of time or if it's not. Is this something you could sustainably do next year, 2 years from now without breaking down your bones in your body? When you're taking exogenous or exogenous substances, unless it's in your nutrition in plant form and you're always eating it, it's not going to aid toward your longevity or your survival. And that's how the physiology thinks as a unit, right? With all these microorganisms that are living in your universe and you're living within theirs as well. So keeping that health perspective up. But I'm getting some amazing workouts. And that's worth gold, you know. But TRX, I really missed it. Going broke, homeless, I sold so many of those things. So many health scares, so much sacrifice for other people, you know. And now, what my heart always wanted was for my son, my younger son, to be doing great, for him to be healthy, for him to be happy, for him to be able and prosperous to take in information and start to accrue some independence. Well, he's got some of that going on, and it's amazing. It's good to see. It's nice to be around for that. And then for me, the ultimate is to be able to sustain long-term infinitely, right? What's available from a thermodynamic entropy standpoint, right? To go into this homogenic homeostasis type process and to be able to balance out everything. So right now I'm working with larger meals, that are going to both sustain me and allow me to have the power output and the motivation to stretch the stomach out enough and then jump right into an exercise modality. And that's what I did. I'm getting these great workouts that are really, I'm going to say they're about 11 sets. Some of them are combination exercises. I always go a lot more intense on the chest. I'll do these rollouts. So everything's like core, full body, squats, right? And we're just building a platform where this is like the first week where I've probably done, well, it's a new week now, it's Monday, but I still kind of consider it last week, right? Or a single week because it's blended in with my other training days until I even take a break. And I'm searching for that moment where I might take one day, but it's still, I feel like I'm still in this momentum where it just blends in. That's what I want. I want to keep going back, hitting different angles, hitting different areas, increasing my adaptation and my recovery, and then eventually adding in more kettlebell type work when I can afford to do that type of stuff, you know. I had a lot of fun doing kettlebells, and it really just jacks up your heart rate to where you're like, okay, I could throw that in here, but you can do it with jump squats and other things like that, right? But it just doesn't quite hit the fact that you're going into this power movement and you're blending these exercises in, you know, when you're doing snatches and cleans and right, and two arm swings and you know, unilateral suitcase deadlifts, get up, sit ups, you know, all sorts of cool hybrid exercises that are more tactical. Scorpion stretches, and it really is a balance of strength, power, and agility, flexibility. And then ultimately it begins to lead into acute motor neuron receptivity, right? Like proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, where you have a control mechanism where you can stretch, heighten your stretch, and go into an adaptive stretch or even dynamic stretches that work part and parcel to performance or performing out a given task, right? And that is when the body really starts to crave more amino acids, and we are able to go into these gluconeogenic phases. And this is something that people don't talk about in the fitness industry, or, you know, they stay away from it, right? It's dangerous. There's not enough known about it, yet they'll talk about every other standalone. And just 24 hours in that, even 14 hours of going into gluconeogenesis intensely to where you're sweating shit out you didn't even know was there. And you feel this sort of buzz and you're not overly bogged down. And your body's going, look, I got so many amino acids, I'm ready to go for a second workout. And that's really when people are able to tap into rope work or medicine ball work, which I've done it all, you know. I've owned them all, I've done them all. And people end up hating you. They end up blacklisting you, cancel culturing you, because they're all jealous. They're jealous of what you got, because when you own your own fitness, when it's something you do when you don't even have a body, you just continue on. You keep on walking, you keep on moving, you keep on jumping, you keep on doing the do, right? And people are attracted toward the unhealthy toxicness that they find within them, and they want to find somebody who's just as fucked up as them that proclaims that they found the way. But not until you grow that relationship with that God source, right? And meet yourself, dark night of the soul, the anima, the animus, not until you come face to face with that dark part of yourself are you going to be in any sort of homeostatic balance that where you're worth anything to anyone, especially yourself.